Recorded. Oh, thank you, Kevin.
That's okay. All right, guys, I'm coming to you live from my bedroom because I got COVID.
Surprise.
So the brain fog is real. So if I stumble over my words, I'm so sorry, but of course I needed to be here today. Mary and I have been working on this for a while, and not a crazy long time, because Mary's amazing with all of her like platform knowledge and her, design skills and all that stuff. So we've just been kind of having a blast together. We already have like a pretty great community going on with CMA Weekly. So, but we're just wanting to streamline it a little bit more so you guys can have more networking opportunities, more opportunities to learn from other different people like CMOs and VPs and all that stuff. So we're really like curating a lot of resources, people, information, and in a hopefully what is a digestible way. So with that, our new community, where we will be rebranding to clubCX. Now I know you're like, oh God, CX, XCon. But we really wanted to make it feel like everybody from like all walks of marketing can feel like they can join this and get stuff out of it. So the CX stands for customer experts, and that can mean community people, demand gen folks who have to execute customer initiatives because they don't have a customer marketer. And so, yeah, we just really wanted it to have a name that like had brain fog, that like everybody could feel like they could be a part of it. And then Mary and I think you get vibes from us for the past year that like we are all about knowledge sharing, and we're just two peas in a pod in that respect. Like we just want to have everything at your fingertips so you guys can do great at your jobs, get recognition, and then we can all celebrate together, which I feel like we've been doing a really great job at. Okay, so this is a closed community. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but we have a really like great low introductory price. It is a paid membership. So it's $17 a month, and I'm gonna go through what that gets you. Mary, you can pull up the sales landing page.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I should preface this with there's still a free version of Slack, right? Like we're not getting rid of Slack. So it's not a pressure thing. It is just a way that Mary and I can take time out of our lives to like dump all the information that we curate into a community that offers just insane value. But very much Slack is open. We will be having a private Slack channel for these, for our members. So, yeah, if you go all the way down, I could just talk a little bit.
You want me to explain like just the regular membership, and then you can talk about the other one?
Oh yeah, I forgot that was what we were doing.
Okay. You go back to COVID. You go back to COVID for a few minutes. Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to just jump in with what my talk track was in my head. Can you all see my screen? Just so I know. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So my little talk track in my head is Yeah, we're going to keep Slack. The Slack workspace that is CMA Weekly right now is going to stay open. It's going to be exactly the same. There will be an extra channel there where we are going to share, everybody that pays to be a member will get access to that. We'll share like our swipe files, which is, all those things that we find as we're cruising the internet and trying to stay on top of the industry to share back with you. So if it's webinar clips and things like that. Not to say that they are our files, but just things that we've seen and we're like, hey, you should take a look at this. So those will be in there. And then my next thing is curation. As you all know, like I've been keeping these massive databases of all
Look
this
at this.
content for the last, am I okay?
Yes, I'm just like blown away every single time I see this. Is this Airtable?
This is Airtable, yeah. So I've been keeping track of all these resources. Know that, yes, some of the resources you've shared in the community have been added to CMA Weekly, and I planned on still letting them be in the new community clubCX. If you have any problems with that, please just let us know, um, and we can take it out. My focus on this lowest level is really curation. It's having the time to go in and tag all these things, um, to like organize it in such a way that it's a lot easier for members to jump in and take a look. For example, I'm going through all of Leslie's documents. Some of them come from the CMA Soulmate newsletter, but if you come to the website, you can either search or click on topic and see what's easily accessible instead of having to go type it up, search it all up. And obviously, we're going to be adding all of her documents and briefs and all of that exciting stuff, all of the templates that I've had, etc.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm just
so
gonna jump in. And the CMA Soulmate newsletter, I'm thinking is still going to be there, but it's going to be switching. Whereas my all my briefs and templates and all that stuff that I'm creating now that I'm not at a company, but I know still how to execute the programs. Those will be put
If you
inside
don't
of
feel comfortable
clubCX.
leaving her, I can call and
Crystal. Okay. Um, yeah, so the new my CMA Soulmate newsletter is just gonna be tweaked a bit, where it's just kind of like more high level customer marketing stuff versus what I have been giving out, which is like the entire kitchen sink.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, and so as you can see, I have all of these resources, recordings from our calls. This over on grain.com, what I've done is gone through all of the calls that we've had over the last year, and I'm tagging them, I'm highlighting them, and this is part of the membership, the curation part, where I'm just like trying to put this all together in a way that makes sense for everyone.
Mhm.
The downside to that, or rather the part that may not be super loved by everyone, is that it's in the community. Now, these calls are already accessible, like for the full recordings, that anybody could see anyways. But if there is an issue, a suggestion, comment on this part, please go ahead and bring it up to us.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
yeah, we'll work with you on that.
but where are the full recordings? They're just in a link randomly, like in the
Yeah,
general. Okay,
right.
this brings everything together. Good.
Yeah, it's going to make it so that basically the entire database will just be like you can come in and click on advocacy. You can click on an author's name, Leslie, Mary, whoever else is okay with being on there. We're not saying we own your content. We're not saying that we made the content. It's just there. So I'm also going to be linking out to really awesome YouTube clips that I find, things like that. Um, we are also going to be bringing in the full Slack archive and the best like comments and posts that are on there. That'll be part of the dashboard I'll show you in just a minute. We're going to have monthly strategy sessions on, these are kind of the calls that we've had before on cabs and reviews and references, but it's going to be more focused and really just listening to what you need so that we can provide that. We'll still have we're going to add a CMA 101 strategy session every month for people that are new to customer marketing. And we'll have the CMA Plus back. So anybody that has 6 years that wants to jump on, we can talk about those more advanced topics. The master classes. So we're going to change from having open discussion every week to every other week. And then those other weeks are going to be master classes. One per month is going to be for all levels of customer marketers, and then one for more advanced learning and topics, like Leslie was saying, the VIP or the VPs, the CMOs, things like that. And then of course, all the documents we have, all of that, and the dashboard is what you'll see. I've said so many words. Yeah, so the Slack archive is coming, the content chatbot. So I'm taking all of the content from past calls, the Slack itself, and putting it into a tool that will make it so you can hop on and say, what's the best resource for XYZ? And then the mentorship program. It's going to be a big project to take on the mentorship program. We had over 250 people that were interested. So I wanted to include that in the membership side. And then you'll see the latest clips that have been brought in from those databases, all the topics, the top insights from Slack, upcoming events, which are those monthly master classes, open discussions, which will always still be free. And I've talked through a lot, so I think I've covered most of it. Back to you, Leslie.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's go back to pricing so I can just chat that out.
Oh, right.
So for that standard membership, if you will, $17 a month is our introductory, as we're launching. So it will, be going up after, I think the first 100 members. Also, something cool is if you pay yearly, then you get 2 months for free. So looking like that would be a $170 a year investment. Cool.
Yeah, I just want to say too that if you are in between positions, you've been laid off recently, things like that, we want to help you out. I mean, if it's giving you free access for a couple of months until you get something new, I'm definitely okay with that. It's more about people than anything else. Go ahead, Leslie.
Yeah. So, let's go into the next tier, which I'm very excited about. So as you all probably know, I'm not at Sendoso anymore. And so a lot of people have been asking for, kind of some consulting and coming in and just giving them advice and all that stuff. I'm like, oh my God, it's perfect timing because I'm launching a community and you get so many other benefits, as well as 1 hour every month with Mary and I. And you can also pay this yearly. So you get everything in the standard membership plus 1 hour with us. I'll be putting out more courses. And so you'll get my ROI course for free if you are a VIP member. And then Mary's coming out with courses as well. Of course she is. And so, we'll be pouring a lot of content into this community. So it's just a really good opportunity to gather up what you learned, and then we can answer any questions. We can build with you. I do have a letter for your boss. It is called the Convince Your Boss template, and I will send it. Yes, I will send it out after this, or we can put it in the chat right now. It goes into some detail, right? Like, what do your bosses want to see? They want to see, okay, how much is it? What are we going to get out of it? And what's the ROI going to be? So there's some data in there. What else am I missing, Mary, on that side of the house?
I don't
Oh yeah,
know.
payment too. Okay, yeah. So $225 a month, and then you also get the 2 free months if you sign up yearly. So $22.50, right? And hopefully, like, your boss would be all right with that, and you guys have a learning and development stipend, and you can use it on this, and it's for a whole year, which, by the way, always sign up with your regular Gmail, not your work email, so you can stay in here. I'm sorry, I'm fresh off a layoff, okay?
Yeah, so we went through that very quickly.
Oh yeah, job boards for sure.
Yes.
So like, this is just the beginning. I mean, I think this is gonna get a lot bigger than just kind of like, membership things. I want to be able to consult a big enterprise company on, like, if they need a customer marketer yet and what the plan would be going forward. And then I want to place everyone who's looking for jobs inside of those companies that Mary and I are consulting. Like, it's just endless possibilities with this. And you guys know how I work, very fast. So it should be fun.
Okay, I'm gonna end share. Unless anybody has any questions. At first, does anyone have any questions?
Are you guys entertaining guest content?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So if there's any vendors on the call, our customer marketing platforms or things that we would purchase. So vendors, we're gonna have, like, if anybody's on the call, we're gonna have kind of like a special kind of pricing and all of that stuff, and parameters. And I know this isn't answering your question, but it's just something that I remembered. And so we'll be able to kind of like digest the information that they want to share with you in not a non-salesy way. They'll have limitations on what they can post, and just keeping it very educational. There is always opportunities for, like, sponsorships and people coming in having their own dedicated, like, course, or learning about a new platform, things like that. Mary, did I miss anything there?
I'm not sure like what I thought he was asking, like, are we going to be open to
Like,
people adding additional content if they're interested in it? And I would say, yeah, I mean, obviously, if you want to add content that you freely want to contribute, of course. If at some point you want to do a course and sell it with us, then we can work something out as well. I mean, we're going to be very, I mean, we're flexible. We want to have a good relationship with the community and the people and everything. You know how I am. You know, Leslie gives a lot too. So I hope that answered your question, Dean.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, Joel.
Kind of on that same note, like, would you all foresee having like either a creator program, or, as at least Mary you touched on, having like revenue share for like a course someone else creates beyond either you or Leslie, like other things where if someone wants to like participate in kind of like that next level within the community, that they're also in some way monetarily like gaining that value, not just the sense of like helping people as well as like building up their own personal brand too? Or would it strictly just be on like that potential for courses, obviously having more of like a one-off conversation?
Leslie, do you have any ideas on that or?
Well, I just go back to what Liz and Dina were working on a while ago, like with Marketplace, where their whole thing was like, if you have courses or you want to create a course, you can put it on there and connect with Stripe and have your course kind of there. So I mean, I like it as a content creator, like, and personal brand, like I like that. And by the way, you guys are like our ride or dies who are on the call right now. Do I expect you guys to pay $225 to come in here? I mean, no, because y'all have been with us for a long time and you guys are much more senior. I'm not deterring you, but I don't know. I just feel like whatever you want to see, like we'll build it too.
Yeah.
And that was part of this call, was like, give us feedback and let us know what you want us to build and we'll do it. Because this is for you. I mean, you know.
So yes, I mean, if it makes sense for the community and it's good content, then we want to get it included and we will figure out a way to do that.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Let me unraise my hand. Oh, you did. Okay. Yeah, I did have a similar question to Joel. I think I was thinking along the lines of how CMA or I guess when it was just Product Marketing Alliance sells courses. So if you would be going that route at some point, kind of like Leslie created her course and sold it, which I bought and it was great. And my company didn't pay for it. So Leslie, I trust your content enough to spend my own money on it. But I think this is great. I'm curious to know, Mary, you being a community expert, and Leslie, I know you posted some things on expansion, but I'm wondering, to what level of content do you plan to include life cycle best practices and expansion and retention initiatives? I know that's the world I live in every day. And then, well, when I had a job, that's the world I was living in and the world I continue to try to live in as I job search. Yeah, so just wondering, what type of content you're focused on primarily out the gate and, maybe even where you want to go.
Yeah, so I'm going to just jump in and answer. I'd actually talked to Erwin a couple of times over the last year plus about some of those topics, more like life cycle retention and things like that, because I see more advanced use our customer marketing people focusing on those topics, especially this year, since there's been so much, we've got a fixed churn and all of that. So opening up this community and giving it, like, charging the $17 a month will give me the opportunity to be able to seek out those resources more, to have more time to do that, to get people that want to come in. I already have one person that wants to come in and share on their retention program and what they've been doing. But Leslie actually has quite a bit of experience with that herself too. So we are going to be focusing on that quite a bit. There's going to be obviously a lot of advocacy and content, but we want to have those more advanced topics for everyone.
I have a fever. Oh my God, I'm going down, Mary. But oh, by the way, I have COVID, everyone.
So sorry.
I want
Are you a first timer?
I'm a first timer.
Oh, really?
Hey.
I got COVID 2 days after I got laid off.
Oh, just kept the good news kept on
Yeah,
rolling.
I know, right?
Things
I'm
happen
sorry,
in
it's the worst.
threes. Everything happens in threes. So laid off, COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a third after that. I don't remember what it was, but that's
The
where I was like, this
power,
is the third.
your
But once you
power
get to
being
three, you're
out.
done. Once you get to
Right.
three, you're done.
Yeah.
What I'm really excited about is the like career development stuff too that we'll be working on, and those master classes with like we're going to be doing like surveys and polls and like, what are you guys striving to be? And if it is the CMO or if it is a VP of customer marketing or a CCO, like we're bringing those folks in. I have built such amazing relationships with CMOs because I was at Sendoso for so long that those CMOs started out as marketing managers and like worked their way up within 5 years to like be CMOs. So I have really, really tight relationships, and definitely whatever topics that we want to dig more into, like we are sourcing it and bringing it to the forefront for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my whole approach with community is community-led community. So I try to have a persona where I'm very approachable. You have no idea how many people will message me as one of the first few people when if they get laid off. It hurts me, but I'm like, okay, no, this is a good thing. Like they're coming for help. They want some support. Like I can help with that. But I want to be that person where you can come. I want to know as many members as well as I can. And so share your ideas. I have been keeping track of ideas and things that people have shared in these databases that I just haven't been able to get to or work on because I've been doing it for free for a year. Um,
Yeah.
so
Now
yeah,
she
we
has a
have
partner.
a lot of ideas. Yes, now I have a partner who luckily just got laid off. So now she's got a
Yeah, this was thanks.
no.
But
Yeah, this
Mary,
was
that gets back to my comment about contributing content because I'm boyishly naive that we need to support each other in a discipline that's much under attack, and for people to be able to contribute content for free is something we should try to do.
Yeah, and we want to make sure, like, that's what I'm trying to do is really make sure the content that we get, that's great. Like from the calls that we've had, that's why I'm highlighting and tagging them and making it easy to find them so
Yep.
that we can get people to the right content they need and help them with all these areas of what we're working on.
Yeah, for all the work that you do put in for free, I think it's an obligation for people who consume your content to contribute as well.
Aw, thank you. So nice. Um, yeah, just any other questions, thoughts, suggestions, whatever y'all are thinking.
I'm terrified what you two are coming up with because it's going to be freaking awesome.
We've done this in the time since Leslie got laid off. So what, a few weeks?
Working about it. We were working.
We were talking about it, but since then we've been like, okay, we're gonna do this. And so we can get stuff done. I think that's a good part.
Good.
Yes, and Rachel, like you said, Angela and her team at Laudable are fantastic. They really are. And we've talked to them, I think. So Leslie's gonna like work with all of
Deal.
um, any
Yeah.
partnerships and things like that, because as you might all know, I'm not super good at that. But she's going to work with everyone, like whether they want to do extra webinars or calls throughout the month or other things in the Slack channel,
Yeah, like
anything
I very
community.
much want them to get value out of more value out of this, right? So if you think about them coming in and there's a more structured way to get their information out to you, like that's what I'll be handling, as opposed to like one post in the general channel that, you know, maybe not a lot of people saw.
Joel, go ahead.
On that note, and speaking of like what Dean was just mentioning about like people contributing, since I've worked at 3 communities that have partner programs successfully, Leslie, like feel free to reach out anytime if you ever like want to chat about that. It's something that I dabble in.
Yeah.
And know a few things about. So yes, and with that, thank you both. And I also have to bounce. So goodbye, everybody.
Well, Joel, yeah, I immediately when I saw your face, I was like, oh, he's like the perfect person to tell that, like, even if it's negative feedback, like tell us, even anybody listening right now, like if you don't like something or anything like that, like you will not hurt my feelings. Maybe Mary, but not mine. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, we'll connect.
Oh, yeah, some clubCX swag. Oh boy.
Yeah, you know it. That'd be sick.
We need some more humorous shirts out there. Like, please approve the case study, please. Just please, pretty please. Something like that.
You're so funny.
Just
We
wear
might
that
have-
to all my first interviews.
We might
There's
have to
definitely
talk
not
to-
enough swear words in that, Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I was gonna say, we put some like at symbol, percent sign things in there in
The
front of the
emoji,
please?
the mad emoji with the swear words.
Either
Yeah,
that or
that'll
like
work.
what we say when you ask this, what we're actually thinking when you ask this. Not that I have experience in swearing. I mean, I actually gave a presentation about customer marketing today where I'm pretty sure I said the word fuck like 10 times. But it worked
I
out
know
just
all
fine.
7 parts of speech to the F word. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Kaylee, you had asked about the sponsors going forward. So the sponsors that we already have, only one that is left is still being fulfilled for something. And they're going to be a sponsor for the whole year, but we've talked to them and we'll be continuing to talk with them about how we transition into the new brand. So everything is covered. And I made it very clear when I took on sponsors that there were going to be some changes, additional partnerships, and other even customer areas that we'll be working with. So that was all kept in mind as we talk to people. So hopefully that answers your question.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. I'm going down. Quick.
Have
Feel
fun.
better.
Feel better.
Thank you
Take
so
the
much.
drugs,
Oh,
Take the
yeah. What drugs?
the cocktail drugs. Take those.
Just
It's
all the
like-
drugs.
Yeah,
Bourbon.
it's like three things together. Do it.
call the
Bourbon.
doctor. Call
Just
the
bourbon.
doctor. Get the drugs.
NyQuil and wine seem to do well for me.
Just bourbon.
Why does my back hurt so bad? And my
Body
butt,
aches. It's a
every muscle in my body.
Yeah, my body aches the second time I had it were really bad.
Just don't
Is
be a
there-
hero. If your temperature spikes, get yourself to urgent care.
Oh, okay. I don't want to go there. Ew. What? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out like what to do.
You can go.
Wait,
We're good.
what? Oh yeah, sorry everybody. I didn't know that so many people were on the line because I was just seeing a little strip. Again, thank you guys. Let us know if you have any additional questions. We'll be launching next Wednesday. And then I'll get you all the convince your boss template. Let's make our bosses invest in our careers. Hello. So that's what I'll be kind of championing for you guys as well.
Yeah, and I'm staying on for whoever wants to have open discussion too. Bye, Leslie.
I am leaving. Goodbye. Love you.
So she sent me the picture from taking the test like 15 minutes before the call today. So we were like, oh no. And I was like, do you want me to just do this by myself? So yeah, she's having a day.
Interesting. Did you send a link out yet, or did I?
No,
it?
we didn't send the link out yet. But that's because I have to finish getting the membership like gated off and stuff. But yeah, it'll be ready by Wednesday. We're good.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
You guys know what to expect from me by this point. Like it's going to be a little messy and a little merry and we'll get there. But yeah, Lauren, did you have any questions? I saw your hand was up.
I did, but I had a couple of questions. I was curious generally, but Leslie didn't need to be in the call for that. She's feeling bad. How you're differentiating the blog versus the other content that you're providing, because I was just looking at the
Yeah.
header bar.
Yeah, so with the blog, that's going to be like different just pieces of content that we find and we want to offer to the industry and just everyone in general. People can offer free blog posts if they want to put them on there. We're going to make sure, thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for coming. We'll make sure that it's good content. Unfortunately, I've been in a lot of communities where they just take all content and it kind of doesn't always really support and help the community. But I'm super nice about it. So anybody that wants to. But yeah, like as we have done all these calls over the past year, I've found that different trends and things like that pop up. And this will just give me more time to be able to justify spending that time to turn it into blog posts and all of these calls. So now I have a tool where it will give me the transcript, which is easy, but give like the top quote and like action steps to walk away with. And that'll all get into the database at some time soon.
And the second question I was going to have, unless someone else wants to jump in, was if you have a submission form for different kinds of content that we'd like to see.
Yeah. I mean, you can send it to us in Slack. We'll have a submission form. I think on the dashboard at the bottom is the events, but right next to that is make a request. And that's just going to be like, you have something you want to suggest or a question you want to ask, like put it in there and we will try to figure out how to facilitate either answering that or making that work, whether it's a huge mentorship program um, that you weren't expecting to have so many people interested in, or just, new blog posts of some type.
Awesome.
Yay. Anybody else? Thank you all for being so patient with me today because I am an emotional wreck. As you know, some of you might know, I'm not always great at pitching something that I'm emotionally attached to. So I tend not to do that. And today is just a different day. So we're going to run with it and see what happens. Do you have a question, Lizette?
Nope. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. It's been a minute.
How are you?
Good, good. It's good to see everyone on. I'm happy I was finally able to carve out some time.
Yeah.
Really excited.
So many people. Yes, me too. Yeah, I want to share a lot of great content. So I think it'll be fun. And, like I said, if anybody sees that they're listed in the highlights, those I'm calling them bites, it's really just little clips that are from the major calls. So if you're a member and you want to just spend 10 minutes of the week instead of watching all of the calls, you can go in there and just be like, oh, what did this person say? But if there's a problem, just let me know. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for coming on today. Thank you for your support and help and everything. And Alexi, as you pointed out, if you're still here or not. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to make it like this database is going to be sweet. I'm going to make sure it's linked up. So if you want it to go to like your website or something, you can have it go to your website. If you want it to go to your LinkedIn, you can have it go to your LinkedIn. Whatever you suggest, I'm really open to it. And if I can't do it, I'll be honest and we can work from there. Anybody else?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you know how hard this has been for me. So, yeah. Well, we can talk about another topic this week. Is there anything open discussion wise anyone wants to talk about? I know yes, go ahead, Christine.
So we started in the last 2 years, they have done customer awards that were basically selected by us. Not me because I wasn't here, but They were just selected. They created this long list. They took every possible standardized use case that we have and created an award for it. And then they would pick customers out of the air and have them win this award. So this year I said, no, let's cut back on the number of awards, and we're going to kick it back to the community. If you want to put your name in for an award, you have to nominate yourself. You have to fill out a form. You have to do a presentation that says, this is why we're so good at this. And then the community will vote on who they think should be the ones to win the awards. And so we got a small number of participants, but enough. It was a good representative sampling of our customer base. And they just finished the presentations this week. It's like, I couldn't have asked for a better case study video. I mean, they're just amazing. And I published them out to community. My sales team was going, can I show this? Can I show this? Can I show this? I'm going, yeah. And now the voting starts this afternoon. I'm going to draft the SurveyMonkey ballot and kick it out with all of the hyperlinks to the videos, and they have 2 weeks to vote. But it turned out, I'm just so thrilled.
Hey, I love watching your journey and all of this, like coming in just over a year ago and being newer to advocacy and customer marketing from my understanding. And then like you are learning and sharing back. And it's really awesome to see like you taking advice and now sharing advice. And in case anyone doesn't know, Christine has quite an impact in customer education as well. And so super smart lady, and just follow her because she's a great people person.
Watch our podcast.
Yeah. Watch the podcast.
Mixology.
Oh yeah, Kaylee, if you have an update on that job seeker reel, I was thinking about it this week, but I didn't get around to asking anybody about it. Go ahead and share if you'd like today or not.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, I think my connection might be a little wonky right now. My video. Had a call with Maria Sturgeon to do an initial design and mock-up. But essentially, I think this came out of the call 2 weeks ago where I think she had the idea of, hey, is there a way we could have some of our former customers and people who are involved in our advocacy programs, as well as colleagues at our organizations, to essentially talk about, the impact that we had there. So just another thing to sort of add in addition to a resume as you're going through the job search process. So I have a pretty rough mock-up of what it would look like, but would love to get some additional feedback before this goes into the full design. Let me share my screen. In theory. Okay, there we go.
I had just hit the thing to make it so you could share your screen right before you said, let me share your screen. So wasn't sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, are you able to see it? Okay. All right. So essentially what I know this looks super messy, but essentially, whoever the person seeking a job will have their photo here. In this area, we'll have some like top skills listed out, and like a personal summary down below that. And then she also was interested in having like some statistics if that's relevant to, outcomes that somebody has driven. So for example, like, reduce the time to do X, Y, and Z within the organization by this much. There will be the opportunity to display those as well. And then on this side, it'll basically say what others have to say about this. And so there will be colleagues or, you know, former customers who could respond to via, you know, email, or I'm sorry, audio, text, or video responses, just talk what it was like to work with you, what the impact of the program was on them and their roles. And essentially up in the corner will be a call to action link so that and this is one thing I would love to get feedback on. So we talked about either the call to action link could go directly to your own LinkedIn, or it could just enable others to share another story. So, you know, if you wanted to capture more stories from some of your former customers and colleagues, you know, that potentially could be the call to action link. Or maybe there's two versions, right? There's the version that you use to capture more stories, and then there's the version that you use to share with potential employers, and that leads to the LinkedIn. So I know this is like a little hard to envision because it's mostly text right now, but totally open to feedback, thoughts, ideas.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I mean, it's a great idea, and maybe something that can even more help people stand out with their applications and things. And the in the database of the bytes and stuff, there's links that you can embed. So if there's like, oh, I said something really smart on last week's call, I wonder if they got that. We can just give you the link if you want to include that or something as well. But I think
Yeah.
we can all see from this, like what it would look like. And um, is it going to have, so there'll be like little videos down at the bottom there, or is it just going to be the text?
Right. So let me open up like a different example that where you can see what this typically looks like. Obviously, totally different use case, but you'll understand the idea.
Ooh, everybody look at her bookmarks. Looking good.
Here, let's see. Okay, we'll go to Ursula. I'm sorry, my Wi-Fi is being terrible right now.
No,
Okay, so here's kind of a better idea where there's like a person being featured, but you know, this would be the job seeker's name and information. And then down here, these can either be video snippets or text or audio. And, you know, if you guys want to think about like what types of questions recruiters would care about your customers answering, I'm happy to, you know, we can have multiple different types of questions that are being, you know, asked. So it doesn't have to just be like, what was the impact? It can be, you know, how did this person lead transformation within the organization or help drive a customer growth mindset? So if anybody has some brainstorming ideas around the questions that you would want your former colleagues / customers to be answering for a recruiter to see, you know, either message me or we can put them into the Slack channel and then we can brainstorm around that. But yeah, this doesn't have to just be a video. It can also just be from audio or like a text quote. Message that I received. And so the responder, so like, for example, if Todd was your former boss and he was responding to one of these questions, he would decide if he wanted to respond with video, audio, or text. So you don't have to like only use people who are like camera friendly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and we can definitely, because there's been a lot of openings as well. I mean, not as many as layoffs, but there's been a lot of people in the community that we've talked to on our side that have been hiring or have done the hiring for customer marketing positions for a while. And we can talk to them about what they would be most looking for as well. So,
Oh, great idea. Yeah.
I know Kevin always wants to help with things, but Bree from Dropbox is super helpful as well. And yeah, so that's great. I think it looks
Yeah,
awesome.
great idea. And then I'm trying to find, we had created something similar, but it was just showing what, oops, sorry. It was basically for a job seeker to talk about what they have done themselves. But there were elements in this one that I thought were really helpful too. Let me see if I can pull that up. But while I do that, I can stop sharing and you guys can change the topic, and I'll just put the link in the chat once I find it. Yeah, would this be helpful? Like, does anybody have any general thoughts or feedback?
Jennifer clapped. So, I mean, that's full on, Jennifer. Yes.
Okay. And then one other thing that we talked about was potentially if somebody wants to get some amplification of this type of thing, that during customer XCon, we can basically during the session breaks, we can display these boards with a QR code so that people who are sitting in the audience can scan the QR code and have access to the board and to your LinkedIn information and all of that, just as another way to sort of get more eyes on it. So that would totally be like optional as to whether or not people would want to participate, but Maria liked that idea as well, just to kind of amplify.
Yeah.
the-
Help people get out there even more. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really hope that over the next month we'll start to see more hiring. I mean, September is usually a big month for hiring. Um, so my
Don't
fingers are
say it, Mary. Don't say it. Every
maybe.
time, every time you say that, I got to knock on wood.
Okay, well, you knock on wood, and I'll be hoping over here and between the two of us, yeah, all that back to school budget. I think it's more like, okay, people are done with vacations for the year. We've got to get some shit done and on the books. So we need to get people on here so that we can get work done. Um, yeah, and by the way, Jake, thank you for responding on my post on LinkedIn yesterday. I'm gonna be talking to a few more people that have reached out about like how to do networking to find a job, because I think it's like one of those things. It's like go to your network and ask people for introductions, and that gets really uncomfortable and kind of nerve-wracking. So I want to make it into a bit of a challenge. Like today, you're going to go on and reach out to 5 people in your network and just say, hey, I'm looking for work or whatever it is. And I'd love to like see if you know anybody that's hiring or even in the industry that I could get an introduction to. But I'm going to go do all this research with the things that people are telling me that they've had luck with first, and then just put together a small program that kind of like helps us jumpstart that, because it's hard to stand out right now. I mean, there we had a job call at one point that somebody got on, and she had worked at Dell for 15 years doing references and customer marketing. And she's like, I'm having a hard time. And I worked at Dell. And it's so when people are like, I could do these jobs, there's so many people applying for these openings. Shannon Howard earlier said that she's seen like 400 to 700, I think, applications in just a couple of days for openings. And so to be able to stand out in that can be really hard. And then there's all these other skills. You have to be good at getting a job to get a job. And, for me, I don't always interview very well. My resume tends to get me, at least with a recruiter, but yeah, and there's so many people out there that are like, hey, I'm willing to help anybody who's been laid off. Well, I'm gonna help you all start tapping into those people.
Yeah, I similar to Rachel. I think she and I were like the two of the people that commented the other day on it. I yeah, I think we probably both have had success tapping into our networks in different ways, and parlaying that into like strong interviews. So I'm also happy to help with anything, just like she said, whether it's interviewing, whether it's actually how to work through your network. Yeah, anything, happy to help.
Perfect.
Yeah, I told Mary this the other day. It is biased feedback, but because it's come from people who've hired me, but I've been told throughout my career since in my 20s that I'm good at interviewing. And I've also paid for courses on interviewing. So I'm happy to knowledge share from other professionals who've, given some great ideas that I've also implemented and received pretty strong feedback for. So by no means am I an interviewing coach, but happy to share what I do know.
Perfect. Okay, well, that was an hour-long call. It felt like 3 weeks to me, just because I was so nervous. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for being on and just putting up with me for the last year and a half-ish almost, I guess. And yay, we're gonna grow. We're gonna keep growing and lots of content and just let me know how we can continue to support and help you. And I love the kitty. Thank you, Jennifer.
I'd love to see y'all be the next like partnership leaders, or I guess for people not in partnership, CMA, but not so spammy. I don't even go into the community anymore. I'm sorry, I shouldn't bash a specific name call out, but I can't even go in the community anymore because it's always just like spam, 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 and not a lot of content that's helpful. I am absolutely happy to pay for something that isn't constantly trying to upsell me in a non-helpful, non-personalized, relevant way. So I think this is great. I think a lot of us feel very happy to support all of the time and energy that you and Leslie have put into sharing with everybody.
Thank you. And
Don't
yeah,
be nervous.
I think there are some great things like about CMA Alliance. Like they're really good at events and courses. And, if we ever get to work with them somehow in that way and combine the best of all worlds, that'd be amazing too. Like, I really do want to do what's best for the community. So, yeah, everybody have a good week. And I will be sending you links on Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.